Finally, Eli Lilly tumbling after missing third quarter estimates as revenue for its weight loss drug Zepbound fell short. The company also slashing its profit guidance. Yahoo Finance's Anjali Kemlani joins us now with a closer look at these results here. Hey, Anj.
Hey, yeah, definitely a shocking surprise from Eli Lilly there. We know that the street was expecting much better numbers coming out of the quarter for Zepbound and Mounjaro, especially considering that the FDA took these drugs off of shortage. So Eli Lilly did confirm that they do have supply. That's not an area of concern. And these numbers are really something that may tell a story that could be coming up. We did see Novo Nordisk miss last quarter. We'll wait to see what their numbers are. So is the competition maybe drying up? Is there some softness in the market? Those are questions that we still have not had answered, and it's going to be something that we observe. We have seen bariatric surgery, for example, decrease in the year. So what is the GLP-1 story is surprisingly something we're still trying to figure out. So let's take a look at the numbers for Lilly and what caused this drop. As you mentioned, the updated guidance on the higher end reduced to $46 billion for 2024. Meanwhile, we got an update on the range as well for EPS up to 13.52 per share. So that's just what to look for the end of the year. I had a chance to chat with Dave Ricks, CEO of Eli Lilly, earlier and talked about how he's thinking about the story for GLP-1s. He mentioned when it comes to production, of course, we know the FDA is reconsidering the shortage designation, but he says underlying production is on track to beat our goal of 50% increase year over year growth. So that is something to keep an eye on. The company is actively pushing out more product. We also know through Lilly Direct, which is the vials available for patients as well as those auto-injector pens. In addition, talking about this idea that maybe there's softness, he said, quote, growth for us is sequentially growing 25% quarter over quarter in the US on a demand basis. We've also seen Zepbound, which is the weight loss drug, increase significantly over Mounjaro, the diabetes drug, and start to take away a little bit more market share from competitor Novo. So you see the numbers down still just based on that miss, and it's going to be interesting to see what he kind of signals to Wall Street, what he is telling investors on the call later this morning. But it's an interesting story.
It is a very interesting story, and you can tell, I think, just by the stock's reaction and even just a quick analyst take this morning, just how much of a surprise this really came from or came about to be here for analysts. I'm curious just in terms of how much you think this changes the narrative around GLP-1s going forward, or at least maybe over the next quarter or two.
So
or does it?
I think it's right now we're in a period of the hype maybe is gone. And so now we're in what does the normal market look like, right? And when Novo gets off shortage too, what does that full story look like? Those are the things that I'm waiting to hear and see. And I think it's interesting that some analysts are predicting that it might be a little bit softer. What the new approvals will look like, especially when they enter sleep apnea and fatty liver. And we saw, Novo get into cardiovascular. So all of that is part of the story, part of what other approvals they can get, how they can get more revenue in. Ex-US is also part of that story. They had to push out some of those dates to make sure they fix the US market first. And so now they're entering all these new markets. So will that balance out the revenue in the coming quarters? So even if there is a little bit of a dip, it is covered by the new markets. Well, that's a lot of nuance, but I'm waiting to see all of that.
A lot of nuance, yeah, exactly. You're looking at Eli Lilly shares again off just about 11% pre-market. Anj, thanks.